then an else. We actually don't need the else statement in this case at all. Just used to writing them. So we're going to say if this dot x is greater than 5, then this dot x equals 5. And evaluate. Now what you'll find, this is kind of neat, because what it's going to do is, if I go one way now, you can see I can go outside of the box. The other way, I can go outside of the box. So as soon as I let go of it, it wants to snap back to the edge of the box again. So it isn't 100% sort of real time. Right now it's set up so that it is actually happening and snapping back to the position when you let it go, which isn't so bad. You could actually stop here, and it's kind of user-friendly still. However, it might feel a little odd to the animator that as they crank it up higher, that they can keep pulling it, but it wants to snap back. So what we can do is we can do a little bit of a cheat. What we're going to do is we're going to cheat this in the sense that we're going to drive this value here that's actually being pumped out by the script controller, because right now the script controller is just returning 0, 0, 0 for position XYZ. What we're going to do is we're going to say x is equal to 0, and if I go past this point and I keep pulling it, pull it back for me. Actually pull it right back, and you'll see that I can't actually go outside of it anymore. And so what we're going to say is x. So this is equal to x, and currently that's just 0. And what we're going to do is we're going to extend our then part of the expression, and I'm going to extend it in front actually, because that's kind of where it needs to be. I'm going to tell it that if it actually does go outside of a value of 5, then let's set this x value to be 5, or negative 5, or 5, sorry, and pull it back basically. So we're going to say x equals this dot x plus 5. I want to put a semicolon in there. I want to write this all in one line. The semicolon is kind of like a line break, so it'll break down to the next line. Just evaluate that. What you'll find now is it stops in the line, because what's happening is once it gets past this point, I'm just going to say print x. You can see that x is 0, and then as soon as I get to the edge, it's locking it off. It's not allowing it to happen, and it's pushing it back basically. And the reason it's negative this dot x plus 5 is so that it doesn't suddenly snap it back to the center. So I'm taking whatever value this control is, and I'm subtracting it from 5 and getting that outside edge. So now it's hitting the edge, it's locking onto it, and doesn't allow you to push it further. Of course, it still goes the other way. So the easy part about this now is I can just simply copy this line, and I can invert that entirely so it works the other way around. Let's see, I think if I just do that and negative 5, and of course this should be the other way around. This should be less than negative 5. I'm having to think about this myself as I do it. There we go. So it locks on the other side as well now. So now I've got it going for one way. If it gets greater than, it stops. If it goes less than negative 5, it stops and hits the edge. And now again, I just need to copy both these lines and just simply change it up for y-axis. So simply just go through and change all the x's to y's, and we should have a completed setup for locking this out. And of course we need to add y in here and evaluate, and now you can actually see that it won't go above, won't go below, and it's stuck on the edges. Now the one thing about our current setup is that's great, but as soon as somebody goes along and says, well, I actually want this to go to a different value, and I want this to be a bigger size, well, unfortunately it doesn't take that into account. It's still only stopping at this given value. So what we're going to do is we're going to update our definition here, and we're going to add to it a bit. I'm going to say redefine def. Just remove the def out of here so that when I evaluate this again, it will update def, because def right now returns that definition. So in here now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add 2 more parameters. Those 2 parameters are going to be length and width. So real simple, I'm going to go L and W, and they're both going to be float values.